All right, everyone, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture with both feet flat on the floor, about a hips width apart. And align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. You're lengthening your spine. Put a little bit of length in the back of the head, the neck. And then just go to the crown of the head and just release any tension there and just allow that relaxation to flow down through the body, all the way down to the feet. Then notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. Could be the nostrils, the chest cavity, the belly. And then just, noticing any sound in your environment, any kind of potential distractions. Just allow them to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. And just checking in with your mind. How are you at this point in your day? Just allowing the thoughts to arise and abide. Try not to judge what's there. Just maybe try and look at things objectively. Taking a little step back from all the emotion. And then think of all these people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, and then the ones we don't like terribly much. And due to impermanence, these relationships are all interchangeable. Regardless of how we feel about anyone at any particular time, all these people are equal. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. And also just thinking of Lou this evening. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind. So equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience, and logically it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as more suffering. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I am sick of suffering. And then we can also at this point regret all of our delusions, our anger, attachment, all of this, which is really the cause of why we harm others. And we think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then here comes our developing compassion. So under that heading, the reliance. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently, and then in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you. And we have compassion for them because the harm they've caused you is going to result a suffering for them sometime in the future. Uncertain when these karmic seeds will ripen. It could be very inconvenient. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. Next is a purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this kind of arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So as instantaneously as flicking on a switch in a dark room, the light coming. So imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and instantly all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all the attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and grudges, depression, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. Next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So you imagine Vajrasattva sends nectar and it pushes down all the negativity of the body from the top down to the bottom. And then now from the bottom up, the nectar pushes out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and completely eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Actually, that wasn't quite correct. It all happens at the same time. The light, the nectar flowing down, the nectar flowing up, and the light coming. Excuse me. And then you're imagining all of that and you're reciting the mantra at the same time. And in this way, this eradicates these very, very subtle imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawa sidi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sapa a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita jita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa sidi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one because we have to decide. So this decision, this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind it's like an aspiration, and it becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So, think of something you'd maybe like to work on. So you've decided you wanted to refrain from harming. So it can't just be kind of every negative thing I've ever done. So just think of one tiny little thing to think about between now and tomorrow. Just make a promise to yourself to work on that thing. Think about it. Think about a plan, taking some action. And then Vajrasattva, delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created by doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so now we do our chanting the names of Manjushri. The blazing energy of all the Buddhas, with bodies fully shared by all the Buddhas, the highest union formed with all the Buddhas, the single teaching taught by all the Buddhas. Most glorious with Vajraratna's blessing, the highest sovereign lord of Savaratna, the king supreme of Savaratna, the king supreme of Savalokeshvara, the lord on high of Savabhadradara, the quintessential mind of Savabuddha, residing in the mind of every Buddha, the greatest body born by every Buddha. Sorry, these messages are getting in the way. The lovely speech enriching every Buddha. Okay. Let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lamas of Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachings.